Today, let's talk about reconditioned shock absorbers. What are some of the things that you might experience if you recondition a shock absorber? And what are some of the reasons why you should probably just get brand new shock absorbers for your car? So first of all, let's start by understanding what exactly a shock absorber does on your car. And it's basically in the name itself. The shock absorber is there to help absorb the shock from uneven surfaces on the road. So this can be simple things like just waves on the road, or if you go over a hump, or even when you hit a pothole. So the main component that actually supports your vehicle as you're driving on the road are the springs. But the thing with springs is that they are very good at contracting and taking in the bumps, but they are not very good at dissipating the energy that they get when you go over bumps. And that's where shock absorbers come in. Shock absorbers are there to make sure that when your spring contracts and it's trying to expand, it doesn't, do that multiple times. It doesn't oscillate going up and down. But when the car, takes a bump, it goes up or down and then slowly just levels out. So that's basically what a shock absorber does on your suspension system. Now, there's basically two types of shock absorbers that you can get, or the basic two types that I'm going to talk about is a nitrogen gas-filled shock absorber like this one, or you can get other shock absorbers that are filled with oil on the inside. Whichever one that you get, you're still going to get the shock absorber to work just fine. There's different types chosen for different applications, but generally you will get gas-filled, or you will get oil-filled, or you might actually also get a combination of both, depending on what application it is for on your car. All right, so real quick, what I have for you guys here is a demonstration between a shock that is kind of good and one that is completely bad. So both of these are gas filled, but you can see on this one, when I push it down, right, you can see that it slowly starts to rise. So in a good shock, you will have, when somebody tries to compress it, it will be difficult to take it inside, but also it springs out like this. And that's in a gas shock. When you have an oil-filled shock, you can push it down, it won't spring itself back. But in gas-filled shocks, this is what you want to see to be able to determine if your shock is good. So even when you've just bought the shock, most mechanics, before they put it in, they will compress it and just see the rate at which it rises, just to see if your shock is good. But this right here is an example of a bad one. So you can see it has been pushed in completely and it doesn't come up at all. I can pull it out with my fingers like that, but it doesn't do anything on its own. And then also, if you look at this one again, it shouldn't be this easy to just push it in. So this is another bad shock, but at least you get the idea. It's a pressurized system, so once you push the shock inside, it should be able to spring back up to let you know that this thing is still pressurized and good. So now when you go to recondition a shock absorber like this one, what basically happens is the technicians will open your shock absorber. When it comes to oil-filled shock absorbers, you will actually be able to see oil leaking from, the seals at the top here of your shock absorber, and that's how you will know that your shock has completely finished. So what the technicians will do is open this cylinder right here and refill it with oil, change the seals as well, and then you're good to go on the road. And also the same with the nitrogen filled ones. They'll open it, refill it with nitrogen that is pressurized, and then you will be back on the road to use your shock absorber again. So now that we know how the system works between the oil-filled ones and the gas-filled ones, what are the pros and cons of having your shocks reconditioned? So the first thing that I want to talk about from my own personal experience is the quality control. When you get shock absorbers that are purpose-built, like these AutoChamp shock absorbers, you know that they are built for your car and they will work well for the application which your car was built for. So for example, in this Mark X, this is considered a luxury sedan that is supposed to be comfortable and smooth when you're driving. So even when your shock absorbers are built, they are designed to work for those conditions. So you won't have a stiff ride. You will have a nice, smooth and comfortable ride. So what happens is when you recondition your shocks, it's difficult for your technicians to know just how much oil or nitrogen is supposed to go in there to make sure that the car is well balanced to give you that nice, comfortable luxury ride. And I noticed this when I reconditioned the shock absorbers on my Honda Prelude. They actually came back being much stiffer than what they actually were as their original shocks. So it made the ride very hard, almost like I was driving with a car that had no springs that were taking in the impact. So you have to be very careful when you're going to recondition these shocks. The quality control is not very good. So you will get times where it might be perfectly balanced, but it just might be because, you know, he did some good guesswork and it worked out for you. But 90% of the time, you'll get a ride that is either way too hard, and these shock absorbers won't give you the driver comfort that your factory spec shock absorber will give you. The other thing that we need to talk about when it comes to reconditioned shocks is the durability. A brand new shock absorber like these ones from AutoChamp will give you about 50,000 kilometers. That's before you actually start to have any issues or have to replace the shock absorbers. It'll give you about 50,000 kilometers, but when it comes to reconditioned shocks, you can't really tell how long they're going to last. I was given about 5 months, but even within the first 2 months, I was already seeing the performance going down. First of all, it started off by being extremely hard on the ride, and then just after 2-3 months it already started to get soft again, and I could feel that instability coming back on the road. So when it comes to reconditioned shocks, the durability is actually very low. It's quite rare, from anyway the few people that I've asked who have used reconditioned shocks as well. It's very rare that you get even 6 months out of reconditioned shocks. So you're always better off just buying yourself a set of brand new shock absorbers like these ones. It is very cheap to recondition the shocks. I know a pair of shock absorbers like these ones cost me less than 1,000 kwacha to do both of them. But at the end of the day, if you're only getting 6 months out of it, and a brand new shock absorber like this one can cost you, you know, anywhere from 3,000 kwacha for a set, and even some other smaller cars you can get even less than 2,000 kwacha for a set, and you get 50,000 kilometers out of it. It's better that you go that route than, you know, doing it cheap and then ending up having to spend again on shock absorbers. So that's basically it on the durability. It's also kind of guesswork. But if you want that peace of mind when you're driving, then it's better that you just get yourself a brand new set of shock absorbers. All right, guys, that was just some quick information about shock absorbers. So if you're considering reconditioning your shock absorbers, that's pretty much everything that you need to know. But of course, if I left anything out and you guys want to put it in the comments, what has been your experience with reconditioned shock absorbers? You can put it in the comments, and then everybody can just be able to have that information and learn something. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys for today. I will see you on the next one.